what time it is. Marvin Devine, Hoover, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice, yeah, I got the juice. Big game cool, make them look like cool. Always play cool, that's the biggest rule. Forget what they doing, keep on doing. I've been making loot since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew. Me, Axel, and Hoover, way too fireable. When this joint drop, better call the truth. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof. You already know what happens when we link up. Let's go. Yeah.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney one. My girl, and say, this is.
Now, what are you doing out of your room? You know you're not supposed to come out of your room. I have your tray of food right here, and I was going to set it down by the door. Now, you had COVID, and you were in quarantine. So, go back in your room. No, go back in your room. I will be making sure you get everything and stuff like that. You know, this is for your own good and for the, the rest of us. No, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm only following what the people told me to do to try to help you. I'm putting myself at risk. I have a kidney. I need Hannah to be working, but so, no, come on. And then you came out without a mask? Go back in your room. That's all I can tell you. Come on, go back. Much love, much respect. Just go back because this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Well, hello, everybody. How are you? Well, I hope wonderful. Happy Sunday to you. I have a great show for you today. All right. And, tonight. And I want you to meet my guest. But my scripture before I introduce her is this poor man cried and God delivered them out of all of his troubles. I love the delivering God, and that's the kind of God I serve, we serve. Okay. All right. So we're going to get this thing rolling, get this thing started, and get this thing flying. All right. I would like to introduce this wonderful woman. This lady name is LadyJ. This lady, please, She is a hardworking woman, a beautiful woman at that. All right. She is the owner of Lady J Media, Butterfly, all right, Entertainment, and What's Up Baltimore magazine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she got so much going on. Lady J, welcome to the Lisa Baxter Show.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. And I got a song too. Wow.
That's right. That's right. That's how we roll up in this piece. That's
Oh
right.
my goodness. Wow. Hey, Jared. I see Jared on here.
Oh, yeah. You're going to see a lot of people on here. They want to know your story. They want to hear your story. All right. We're going to roll right in because you're so many things. I mean, you're a caregiver as well. You know what I mean? And you're a survivor. You know, so
Yeah.
we're going to tap in to a couple of things. But we're going to start to talk to you about what exactly do you do?
What I do now is, like you said, I'm the owner of LadyJ Media Butterfly Entertainment, and it's actually my own radio station. I have my own app, my own LadyJ Media app. Go on Google Play, and you'll be able to see it. Also have this magazine right here that's called What Up Baltimore that my son does. He does all of the layout, the pictures, the designs, and everything. And what else do I have going on? I help to take care of my mom. And so if y'all hear some noise in the background, that's because I'm here right now with my dad helping to take care of her. So my sisters and I rotate, can't take all the credit, but that's what I do. And I enjoy every bit of it. I have a lot of fun.
Well, okay. Well, what made you? Because I see you had did everything in a nutshell. Pulled the magazine out before I can ask you about it. I ain't mad at you though. So we gonna ride backwards a little bit, rewind, and
Oh my goodness.
we're gonna find out how did you start your radio show?
Well, the radio show started because I think I think you know my story, but a lot of people probably know because you heard it 150,000 times that I was in a really bad marriage, and I want to also clarify that too because now we're friends. You know, you grow and you become friends. But I was really young when I got married. I was very young when I got married, and so the stress from the marriage, I ended up having a heart attack, and I also had 3 strokes. By the time for each stroke that I had, I was actually working as a district manager for the American Red Cross. Shout out to them. I was there for a long time, and I had the first stroke on the way home and on the Beltway. And I couldn't figure out how to get home and made my way to the hospital. So I wasn't able to walk or talk. And I stayed in the hospital for a while with therapy and all of that. Then the second one came a few months later. Third one came the next year. So I had to learn how to walk and talk 3 times. And I felt like, you know, God was setting me up for something different because in my mind, I wanted to be this corporate woman because I was working in corporate. I was like up there nearly with the executives. So I just wanted to like go up the ladder of success. I was making a lot of money and I felt like God really wanted me to do something else. So he sat me down and when I was recovering and feeling a lot better, my sisters gave me a trip to Las Vegas. We went to the Stellar Awards, and I'm a social butterfly, always have been since I was a kid, and had my red and gold gown on, walking around. So a lot of people thought I was either a singer over there or I was with a radio station. So I was talking to everybody, and one guy that I bumped into, he thought that I was at a station, and we were talking, and then he said, "I need you to meet the owner of my station." We met, we talked, we clicked, and she gave me my own show, and that was in 2019. So May of 2019, I started my own show. She gave me the show while I was in Vegas. She told me I needed to come up with a name the next day, and I didn't know. I was like, okay, I'm new to this, so what kind of name can I come up with? And I have a really close girlfriend who always called me Lady CJ. And so when the lady called me to ask me, okay, what is your radio name going to be? I was like, let's do LadyJ. And I just left it like that. And it clicked. So in 2019, I was at her station doing the show. By the end of the year, I had 4 shows, and I was on the Now Network as well. And then in 2020, I switched over and I went into not management, partnership. Sorry, I went into partnership with someone here in Baltimore. And then I decided in December, because I needed to spend more time with my mom, that I needed to do something that would give me the flexibility to be with her. And I had the bright idea to start my own station. So I started my own station January 4th of this year. And then the guy who is a really big businessman here in Baltimore, he really likes me. And so I would go and do interviews with him every Thursday, and he paid for me to have my own magazine. And that's how it all came about. So I started January 4th of this year. I have 14 shows, and we rolling.
I had a chance 3 times to be on your show. You had
Yeah,
interviewed me once, and
right.
then you let me bring a crew with me
Yeah,
the,
we're
the
gonna do it
two
again.
times after. Right. So, well, tell them the names of your shows or what types of shows they are.
Um, I probably can't even remember. I'm not gonna say names, Lisa, because I might forget somebody's show, and they might be watching. But I'm just gonna tell you the types of shows that we have. Like we have a veteran and family affairs show. We have a couple that does. They've gone through a lot in their marriage. And they do a show and they actually talk about, they're very real about how they're able to still stay together. They wrote a book. Um, oh my goodness, we got so many shows. We have the show People's Power Assembly, where they do all that they can to get Black men out of prison who've been wrongly convicted. They deal with mass incarceration. They do a whole bunch of stuff. They have a big rally coming up here in Baltimore on Saturday. And I just started another show. Well, let me back up. There was a guy that was on my show a couple of times when I was at the station, and I thought, wow, he is really good, and he had his own show too. So I called him one day and I said, why don't we do a show together? So we do this show that's called Be More Brooklyn. He lives in Brooklyn. I'm in Baltimore, and the show just took off. So we also have like a clothing line for Be More Brooklyn. And I just met him like 2 weeks ago on my birthday. I went to New York and met him for the first time. We've been talking for the longest. And I finally went up there and met him for the first time in Brooklyn. So we do that show. And I just started a show that, because I'm all about building my community and really pushing our community and putting them up front. Hey, Van, and putting them up front. And so I started this show last Thursday where I'm going to be bringing probably more females than men, but we may have men on there. I don't know. It's just starting, but I'm going to bring them on. They're able to sell their product or share their product with us. And I have my girlfriends on the screen. So last week, it was so much fun. We had a pampered chef party. Everybody had to bring their favorite drink. And we were just cutting up the whole time. And, but the ladies sold stuff. And that's what it's all about. So that's going to be this Thursday. We got a paparazzi party coming up. And we probably be cutting up on there too.
Nothing wrong with a little cut. You know what I
Ain't
mean?
nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
You can use a joke sometime or
You
some
can.
laughter.
And we
Mary
need
Hart do
to,
it good.
we need to step aside and just laugh sometimes and have fun, because COVID is going on. My girlfriends and I, we used to go out like every Friday, and now we can't. So I was like, we need to do something. So we get on the screen, and it was our first show. We had a really good time.
Well, at least you're still there for each other. The
Oh yeah, yeah.
COVID is not easy to,
Right,
you
right.
Zoom this, WebEx this, WebEx that,
Mm-hmm.
FaceTime. You do it all, to get through this. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
Besides, mask up, glove up, and all the
Yeah.
protocols and rituals. But
Hmm.
yeah. So okay, you you work hard. You
I
got the
work very
programs
hard.
going.
Yes.
I know you hard to get.
Um, Let me tell you something. I work hard because for all that I went through, Lisa, I said I will never ever be broke again. Okay, I'm never going to be broke again. I'm never going to be sick and depressed and crying again. So I don't depend on anybody. I do what I need to do, and with the help of God and my son, I made my son my business partner. I have a niece and nephew that are. My nephew is 8. My niece it will be 11 um, in a couple months. I made them my business partners, and
Come
so
on now.
yeah, we
Never
have
too
our
young to learn the
yes,
business. That's right. Teach them
yes.
early.
So we have our business meetings, and they're also writers in the magazine. They have to write a story in the magazine, and they get paid for their articles. And so it's all about showing them how to have their own business and to appreciate the fact that you don't have to work for anybody and starting them
Fantabulous.
young. Hmm.
Wow.
So if
Now,
something
what
happens,
made you do that? I love it.
um, because I feel like in our community, we really don't, we're so focused on working. And I understand that because I went from being a married mom to being a single mom, and that was tough. And I had to eat a lot of my words because I didn't understand how hard it was for a single mom until I didn't have any food and had to make sure my son ate. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to show women, whether you're single, you're married, or whatever, that it's really important to leave a legacy behind. So if anything happens to me, my niece, my son, and my nephew, they have their own business. They have a magazine to run, you know, and of course they're young. They're always going to have new ideas, new fresh ideas. Even in doing this, my son gives me a lot of the input. A lot of things that I should be doing because he's 25, and I listen to what he says. So pretty soon you'll see like a kids show, and you'll actually see them. I used to do a kids show once a month with the kids where it was their show. I just let them talk. I had, they just talk and I mean they just took the show over. So pretty soon you'll see that coming up where they'll have their panel and they just come on and they talk about what's going on in their life. But it's all about showing our young people, put it in their heads right now that you can be an entrepreneur. You don't have to work for anybody.
Plant that seed.
Hmm.
What I like is that you had a variety of ages.
Yeah,
So everybody will not think the same anyway. And they're coming from a
right.
different view.
Yeah,
And that's like it's like making a cake or something because it took all of y'all to put it together, mix it up,
right.
make
And like my
make it dope.
nephew, my nephew is 8, and he'll tell me, Aunt Charlene, is this meeting over yet? I'm ready to go. Because he doesn't like, I have them like we sit down for a little business meeting, but he's very quick to tell me he wants to be paid. He wants his money. So I always tell him you got to do some work and then you get paid. My niece is really good. She will research the articles. Like this month, February, I had her research different things about Baltimore, historical facts about Baltimore, and she did a great job. And she's 11. So for me, it's all about finding out what they like to do. And I'm starting to realize that my nephew doesn't want to write an article, and it's okay. My nephew is into the graphic arts design because my son does the whole magazine. Like he does everything on the computer. He does graphic arts as well. And I'm realizing that that's what my nephew likes to do. So I told him, I said, look, don't worry about the article. You do it. You do the graphic art. So that's what we're going to do from now on.
How thick is it or how many pages?
This has 22 pages in it. 22
Can you
pages, at
like
least. Yeah, let
open
me
it a
open.
little?
Yeah, let me open it. How can I do this? Yeah, so these are the different. This is actually the guy who paid for me to have the magazine. I call him my Pakistani brother. And so every magazine is different because Baltimore, and then we also every month I do a butterfly book of the month. And so this lady right here, I picked her as the butterfly book of the month, and it's always going to be an African American, and we're gonna hot spotlight in here. And then we have people who they actually pay for advertisements, so you can pay for it to be advertised. It's also digital now because the first when we did this, this is only the second one. The first one came out in January, and it sold out in 2 weeks, and I was at the post office, and I couldn't do the post office. So this month is digital, and you're able to go on the website and get it on the website.
Did you say what the website is?
The website is www.ladyjmedia.com.
Okay. And if they wanted to do an article in the magazine, is there any email, or they go to the website, or how
They
is that?
can go to the website, or listen, y'all, I'm very personable. You can call me on my business line. It's 443-297-4753. Or you can email me at LadyJ uh, LadyJmedia@gmail.com. Yeah. LadyJmedia@gmail.com. So I try to be very personable. People want to be on the show. It's not a whole lot of questions or whatever. We sit down and talk. I want to always give people opportunities, even having a show. Like, a lot of people are afraid to ask me, can I do a show with you, because they're afraid of the price. And I can't tell y'all how I do it, but all I can say is if you want to have a show, you can have a show, and it will not affect your budget at all. You just got to talk to me, and I work it out for people to have shows.
Wow. Wow. No, that's good. I mean, you have
Yep.
your way of helping people and
Yeah.
showing them how to make money at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is
So
good
it's
thing,
because I'm sure like you meet so many people, and you're like, wow, why don't they have their own show, or why don't they write a book? And so instead of
Yeah.
me saying that, after I interview people, sometimes I'm like, you really need your own show. And they're, oh, I can't afford it. So when we sit down and talk, they realize they really can afford it, because it's not what you think. And it's not a get rich quick thing for me. It's just about giving people opportunity and exposure. So anybody can have a show with me.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you put it out there. I ain't mad
Hmm.
at you. Come on here. You ain't never lied. Now, let me ask you something about being a caregiver.
Hmm.
How uh being a caregiver, you're a strong caregiver and a very
Hmm.
caring.
Hmm.
What would you say is the easiest thing or the best thing up for a caregiver? Because I've been a caregiver myself 3 times,
Hmm.
for my husband, for my mother, my father, and uh, my sibling.
Hmm.
So,
I think the greatest thing for me, like, my mom did not work the whole time we were growing up. So I don't know what it's like to be at a babysitter, daycare, or anything like that. And then I turned around and did the same thing with my son. My sister did it with her children. So the greatest thing for me is when I look back and I see all of the sacrifices that she made so we could go to school, so we could go to college. Um, I'm a pastor's daughter, so we moved around a lot. I mean, I've lived, it's like being in the military. We were always moving. And my mom was, I can see now, being an adult, that it had to be hard for her to even do that. To just move around, and then he's off preaching, and you're home with the kids. You don't know anybody. You got to get them ready for this school and that school, because we're all apart in ages. But so the greatest thing for me right now, without question, is to just be here. And I have three sisters, and my mom said one day, she's like, I know you all have your careers going on, and I was really worried, and I'm so surprised how you all worked it out. I'm like, that wasn't a question. It's not a question. You're not going into a home or whatever. That's not going to happen. We rearrange our life and our schedule to accommodate her and my dad, and that's just the way it's going to be. There is no question, there's no discussion. The four of us just sat down and decided how we could fit it into their schedule, and the weekends are better for me to come from Friday to Monday. That works for me. And you see, I'm here. I'm still doing my stuff. She's in the next room. I just make sure that she's good. And if she started doing anything other than that, I'd be like, Lisa, I'll be right back. So it's just, for me, it's really a joy. And the thing about my mom is that growing up, her thing was always keep yourself up. So I've never seen her, and my mom is 82. I've never seen her just walking around the house with a bathrobe on or a bonnet or something like that. She would come downstairs like she was going out, smelling good, looking good, and she wasn't going nowhere but in the kitchen to fix breakfast or dinner or whatever, because she cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so for me, I do the same thing. And it just taught me, like, she would always say, you don't have to be, this is not for anybody else, this is for you. So whatever I'm doing, like, you can stop at my house at any time. And people are like, well, you expecting somebody? No, I ain't expecting nobody. I did this for me. I woke up and beat my face and did my hair for me. So that's why I really appreciate her, because she's taught us a lot as women. Yeah. I think I can't hear you. I think your microphone went out. I think. Oh, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
What I like is that she installed something good in you, and yeah, I mean, and then you passed it on, until you brought it into your family.
Right.
I love that. I'm not mad at you, because I didn't put my mother in no nursing home either. And when they told me to put my husband in one, I said, what? I said, He lives here. He the king of this castle. He stand right there with me.
Right.
He ruling this nest up in here. You know what I mean? So people don't always understand that. People go downhill sometime when you put them away.
They do.
Or if you
they really do.
So my hat off to you. Your crown, because, honey, you really cleaning it up over there. And you rocking it. So I'm definitely not mad at you with that. Now I have to ask you about your survival of that heart attack, because you had 3 of them, and you sitting, you're across from me. So I want you to touch on that a little bit before I try to end the show or anything. But
the heart attack was, and I've told this story before too, that I suffered with being clinically depressed, because in my marriage, I didn't really talk about what was going on, and I held it all in. And it just got to a breaking point where I was at church one day, and after I finished singing, I was getting ready to get in my car, and somebody saw the back of my dress, and they told me the back of my dress was soaked. I don't even remember. And I passed out. And when they took me to the hospital, and my mom was right there, I had a heart attack, and I was in the hospital for 5 days, and I left in a wheelchair. And I decided after those 5 days, you know what? No more heart attacks. I'm leaving. And I left my house, left everything in there, and I found an apartment. But what I didn't realize is that, that stress just doesn't go away because you left. Like I left my marriage in 2008, and I got divorced in 2013. I had my stroke in 2015. I had another stroke in 2016, and I had another stroke in 2017. And what I found out is that my brain, even to this day, it's only used to chaos, craziness, anything negative. And when I allow those things to come at me and I take it on, it causes my body to go into a full-blown stroke. And I didn't realize that. And I was still dealing with some issues with my ex in 2015, 2016, and 2017. And that's how I had the strokes. And so, but I bet you one thing, I won't have any more, because I don't do stress. I don't do any type of drama. If I see it coming, you are dismissed. You don't have to ask me, can you go? I'm letting you go. And that's how it is. And that's what the strokes were, because when you go through that situation of not being able to walk or talk. I had to learn how to talk all over again. All of my cognitive skills were gone. I didn't know how to use my phone. Um, everything was gone. I really, a lot of stuff I don't remember. I just don't. And so, but the one thing the doctors told me is, if the first thing they told me when they said it's time for you to go to therapy is, if you sit in that wheelchair, because I couldn't stand up. If I stood up, I had to have a belt around my waist, somebody holding it in the bag, and then two people on the side of me walking with me. And my dad would walk with me every day, and he would just tell me, "You're gonna walk again. You're gonna be okay." I'm a fighter, so the doctor said, if you sit in that wheelchair and you don't do the therapy, the way you're sitting in that wheelchair is the way you're going to stay. And he did not have to tell me that anymore. At nighttime, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I was in there trying to kick my legs. I was trying to, because I had the right side weakness, so my whole right side was just gone. So I was in there trying to lift my hair. It got to the point that I told a friend of mine to go to my house, get my curling iron, get my makeup, get my body oils and all that stuff. And I told the nurses not to help me. So I would get up about 4 o'clock in the morning, and it would take me about 2 or 3 hours. I would try to curl my hair as best I could, put wash myself up because I couldn't get in the shower because I had too many tubes in me. And it took me a couple hours, and I would get it all done in my wheelchair, and then wheel myself back and just sit there and wait until they come and get me for therapy. And that's what I did. So I don't, right now, I just appreciate everything. Like I told you at the beginning with my ex, like I just cut all of that, being mad and drama and stuff. I just live a really happy, peaceful life. And that's just how it is.
Excellent. Woohoo! All right now. I'm just glad you survived it all. You don't look like what
Yeah.
you've been through.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
definitely
Hmm.
got you.
Yeah.
Now, who would you like to encourage? Maybe there's a single mother out there. Maybe somebody that's starting a business. Uh, maybe somebody that's stressed out or had a heart attack or whatever it is. Tell them that before you give your shout out. Okay?
Well, the people, whether you're male or female, I just like to encourage people all the time. And the greatest advice that I can give to people is to love yourself. Because when you love yourself, you don't allow certain things to happen to you, and you don't allow certain things to enter into your space. And so you learn how to set boundaries for yourself. Once you learn how to truly, truly love yourself, when you see drama coming, it'll be like a tennis ball where you just hitting it all over the place. I love myself way, way, way too much now to allow anybody, including my son, my parents or anybody, to disrupt my peace. You're not going to do that, and I'm very clear about that. And it's really important that you use your words. Don't just hold everything in, but let people know, no, that that's not going to work for me. And if you can't step out of the space, my space right here, then I'll remove myself because I didn't invite you in here, and I've had enough. And I do that all the time. I had to learn how to use my words to help people to understand that it's not okay for you to do what you're doing. And so if I could tell, and I'm actually, Lisa, the other thing that I did in the middle of my stroke is that I went back to school and I became a certified life and spiritual coach, right? And I failed the exam 3 times. And I said, Lord, because I couldn't comprehend what I was, because it was too much on the exam. And I said, Lord, if I fail this exam again, I'm not doing it. The fourth time I passed. And so I'm a certified life and spiritual coach, and I'm in school right now again. But that's the thing that I would tell people: love yourself, and when you love yourself, life becomes you're not without problems. I'm not without problems and other stuff, bills. I'm just like everybody else, but I'm so happy because I'm taking care of me, and the only way I can take care of you or laugh and joke with you is that I gotta take care of me first. So I just tell everybody to love yourself. Like, you go out here loving everybody else, love yourself first and allow God to pour whatever he has on you. Allow God to pour that anointing on you. And listen, everything will fall in place. I promise you.
I know that's right. Excuse me. Who would you like to give a shout out to?
Well, of course, I got to give a shout out to everybody that's at LadyJ Media because you see, I started my own station, and in order for you to start your station, you have to have people to come on and do shows. And so I'm giving a shout out to all the people in LadyJ Media because they believed in me enough to say, you know what, I'm gonna do a show with you. And everybody's doing so well, so I just want to give a shout out to them, and I want to give out a shout out to God, like because God has just elevated me and blessed me so much. It's just unbelievable. So, that's who my shout outs go to, and definitely to my son because I've been blessed with the most greatest son. That oh my goodness, I'm just really blessed with him, and he is he's just like a really good young man, 25 years old. So I want to give a shout out to my son Eric.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have done such a wonderful job on the show. And I appreciate you sharing with us. And have a good night. And thank my best to your parents.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And we'll talk. I got to get you on the show so we can do our girls' night.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Ready.
And bless your life. Let God do what he got to do with you and for you and through you.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.
Guys, you have heard it. Yes. You have heard it. Bye-bye, Lady J.
Bye.
Guys, you have heard it. It has been a wonderful show. All right. I would like to say prayers up for Morris Cook family. Morris Cook was a kidney warrior that I served with in the dialysis center. And he also got a transplant. We were in the same hospital with the transplant, and he passed away. So pray for his family. Excuse me. Excuse me. And Ugertha Hooks is a woman of God that I know for basically most of my life. And she also had passed away. And she really was a praying woman who loved God. And my prayers go to the Hooks family. Okay? And next week's guest is LaLucia Davies, scoliosis warrior. All right? So you guys be well. You be blessed. Take care of yourself. Oh, wait a minute. I have to tell you this before I go. This is a humidifier. You gotta this is blowing around in here. It's helping me out a lot. And this tea here is excellent. This mullein tea gets mucus all out of you. All right. So I forgot to give y'all a little tidbit. All right. So resources always in the house. Bless your life. Later, be for victory. Nah.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 and the kidney one. My girl, and say, this is